Welcome. Welcome to Beyond Limitations. It's okay to dive into the unknown. That's the only way you're going to make it known. Welcome.
That's right. Grand rising and grand day to all of you that are tapping into this live podcast, and to all of you that will be tapping in the future. Welcome to the third episode of Ascending Beyond Limitations, the Raw Material Law of One study. I am your host, Marcus Christolight of Sacred Light Healing and Wellness, and this is our lovely co-host, Sandee Marshall, Sandee M, out of Long Beach, California, and I'm out of Cincinnati, Ohio. And today is a day on the 12th of June that has a little bit of a specialty to it today. And today, on this episode, we are going to be somewhat celebrating, bringing some awareness to Sandra's birthday today. Today is Sandra's Earth Day. Happy Earth Day to you, Sandee. And it's really nice to hold this space with you today on Ascending Beyond Limitations on this day for you.
Thank you, and thank you. I'm happy that we get to do this today. Ascending. We're ascending.
That's right.
I'm going to say it again. We're ascending beyond any of our limitations, whether they be within or whether they be looking out at the divine, trying to figure out what's going on in this earthly plane. We're ascending. Open up the darkness and make known what's in it with your inner light.
Mm-hmm.
Take what resonates. Leave what doesn't.
Uh-oh. What's this? Something's happening. Huh?
Huh? What's happening?
Oh! Do you?
Oh, man. Thank you. Do you know how wonderful it is to be with soul family as we embark on this journey of making the unknown known, ascending beyond our limitations? I'm happy to do that today, right? Because
Absolutely.
We get to embark on new knowing. Are you ready? Are you ready?
I know I'm ready. That's for sure. And we kicked off this whole entire podcast series on Monday of last week. And Monday of last week was actually my Earth Day as well. So already within the first 3 episodes of this wonderful podcast, 2 of the 3 episodes have landed on both of our Earth Days. And wow, how beautiful and how special already to begin this journey of exploring the raw material together. And with that being said, let's just go ahead and dive in. If you would like to open up and get into the reading for today, feel free. Or if there's anything else that you would like to share beforehand.
All right. So when we left off I was giving you some of the densities, right? That Ra, broke down. And the first density was basically, he gave definition. The focus and orientation of first density is self. The next was the form of first density, which was pure being. And then the function of that was existence. You could think of that as the root, as the earth, Gaia, becoming the rock, the molten lava, the essence of earth becoming, the air evolving, right? The cells within her becoming. Just like, think about it when you break it down, how it takes 9 months for a baby to become, from the pure essence of that he or she is and will be. That's first density. Second density is focus of orientation. It's the other, the environment, the growth and movement. Things start moving. The molten lava starts flowing underneath the earth. Think of the molten lava as your blood throughout the whole of earth consciousness. The blood flowing, things moving, the cells moving and becoming. They're speaking to each other. Third density, it becomes self. It's the other self. Think of that as your not your higher being, but your ego. It's just becoming to form itself, not knowing what it is or how it's going to function. It just knows that it's got a purpose, right? It's aware. It's not yet self-aware, but it's aware. Fourth density is just pure love that flows through earth consciousness as she's getting used to her body. It's getting used to all the other cells that are attached to it, the rocks, the trees, the seed of the trees inside it. Everything's a seed. And then Ross said, there's the fifth density, which becomes more of itself: mind, spirit, wisdom. That's us right here, right now. Right? Although we call it third density, that's us. We're self-aware. We're aware. Right? I'm just giving you the breakdown. I can read a little bit more about it as we talk more about it. But sixth density is the focus is all. The focus is earth consciousness, our bodies, our minds, our spirit, the unknown. We call the unknown the universe. All of it becomes unity. Right? And then seventh density here is where we merge back with the divine. Or at least our higher beings have the opportunity to merge back with the divine. But guess what? Not only do us as body and mind with spirit have free will, but our higher beings have free will spirit. They get to choose if they want to go merge with the divine, or they get to choose if they want to turn around and go try it again. They get to make a decision. Let's give them the best awareness of what form is. Let them decide what we're going to do and who we're going to be and how we're going to be. Are you ready to listen to the channeling of Ra and take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Are you ready? Back to you, Marcus.
Beautifully said. Thank you for just kind of recapping us and taking us along what we've journeyed through so far. And man, the amount of medicine and the amount of really integrative knowledge that we have gone through in these first 2 episodes has really been paradigm shifting, even for my own self. You know, a lot of reminders and a lot of clarity and aha moments of not only seeing like the things I've been teaching, but the things that I've been feeling and sensing being delivered right through that book, the raw material. And also see the correlation between, you know, the podcast of Billy Carson and Terrence Howard tying in directly with the study last week, you know, with the crystal beings and the magnetism of the being and everything like that. It's just really beautiful. And I just want to say that this is a mindset that I have as I like go through my journey, is not to get set on destinations. And when we get set on destinations, it can create a lot of expectations. It can create a very limited type of mindset. And it can also cause a lot of stress, tension, anxiety, depression, and other things on our being when we do this. So when we're able to remember and able to really have that clarity that there's always going to be the next moment when it comes to energy and consciousness. And when I say the next moment, I'm not just speaking on being in your physical human life. I'm speaking on your higher spiritual consciousness is always going to have the next moment in its journey. Whether it's a karmic moment, a dharmic moment, or something beyond our human comprehension into another form and into another lifetime. And it all still is a seamless flow that never actually ends. It's just continuous cycles of transformation. You can call this death and rebirth in the human concept, which is actually just really only a human concept. There really, in essence, isn't necessarily death. It's just transformation of energy. And that's a whole other topic for another time. But who knows? Maybe it'll come up in the reading today.
Maybe it will. I think it will.
Living by that mindset, that intention, that knowing has been huge for me. And it's brought a relief to all those things that I just mentioned that can manifest when we do live in that limited mindset. And it also helps you be able to have more open, I don't want to say airwaves, but more etheric waves moving through you, because you're not stressed out, you're not living limited, you don't feel like there's dead ends or destinations. You're just allowing the flow to continue to circulate through you, which allows consciousness and life to be able to continue flowing through you. And grounding is huge. You know, grounding is a really powerful thing. And grounding is actually going to be my next topic on my Light Body Awareness 101 teachings that I do. And just really briefly, when it comes to grounding, if you think of it from a energetic, metaphysical standpoint of what grounding is. So we have this cord of light that is our balancing axis. When I say axis, I mean AXIS, axis. And it goes down our center column energetically. It's referenced in many meditations and other practices. And the goal with this cord is we want to allow this cord to be able to seamlessly flow through our chakra system and down our middle column. So then this cord of light can help bring balance and maintain the balance of our being. And when this cord comes through us and then gets down to the root chakra and then exits out of the root chakra. So then when this cord exits the root chakra, it then goes down to the earth, and through magnetism, it magnetizes and resonates deeper to the electromagnetic grid of Mother Earth. And that is a very basic way of describing one way of grounding, is allowing your cord, your balancing cord, to be able to flow through you properly and correctly through your column and then go into the grid of Earth. Now, you can also ground through your feet. The soles of your feet are chakras. They have little portals on them. And through those portals, more magnetism of your energy is able to ground and magnetize into the earth grid. This is why there's many practices such as, being barefoot. They call it earthing. And when you do that, you release inflammation. It's antioxidant, and it helps in other areas as well. And the reason why those physical things are manifesting, such as reducing inflammation, is due to the fact that on the metaphysical side or the energetic side, you have stored energies and blocked energies that are in your being that are causing the inflammation and other things that are now naturally draining and siphoning down and out through these cords, either through the feet or through this cord that goes to the root chakra. And then it naturally fertilizes into the Mother Earth and actually gives benefit to Mother Earth because she takes it on as basically fertilization and recycles it, and then gives back to you nurturing, unconditional love and support. So that's a little bit about grounding and just what it does. And there's so much more to it, but you guys will have to tap in when I do my next Light Body Awareness 101 teaching live to really get the full in-depth details of grounding.
Yes.
But
Yes.
yeah, I'll go ahead and pass it back to you.
Yes. The fact. Okay, so the fact that he's talking about grounding last week and the week before, Ra talked about the pyramids, why they were originally created, crafted, so that the pyramids held the energy of healing. And the questioner asked Ra, well, how do we use them now? Well, 11,000 years ago, it was used and abused, and Ra had to take that information back. At such time, Ra came back 11,000 years, forward, and the information is that the pyramids, that use is no longer necessary. Why? Because we have gotten to the ability to heal ourselves from within. Right? If any of you remember the movie Stargate, when the movie came out, not the series. When the movie came out, you saw a picture of the representative of Ra, the character, go into a chamber to heal the human body that he existed in, right? Think of that as the pyramids that they gave us, the information of the pyramids that were created by intention and energy from the higher beings that we consider to be Ra, of that consciousness that came to us to give us this information. Well, that's the same thing that we do now within us. We have that energy within us. We're that container. And now we get to utilize that awareness that we have, this container that will heal us. We don't need to go and sit in a pyramid or stand on any grid lines, but we do have to go within ourselves to tap into the unknown of us and make it known to us that our body is a natural healer. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying stop going to your doctor. I'm not saying stop taking your medicine. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying that your body is the natural vessel and it knows how to heal itself if you go inward and know how to give it the information that it needs to do it. And the information that it might need is, I trust you. I understand that my cells are continuously regenerating, and I am thankful and grateful. You're giving thanks to your body. Where the pyramids that Ra tried to present to us over 11,000 years ago might have been necessary, Ra is saying it's no longer necessary because we've got it all in us. Our bodies have become that stasis container. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Back to you. Back to you. I'm so excited. Back to you, Marcus. I'm so excited. I just can't hide it.
Oh, okay. Wow, okay. So this is actually, oh man. God, I love this. I love this type of topic, because it really just ties in with what I was just speaking on and more of the light body teachings I've been doing. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull it up for everybody where you can find these teachings that I'm speaking on. And basically, I started a series, kind of just came through me a few months ago. And it was just like a calling to start educating and start freely giving the knowledge of self when it comes to the energy light body or the metaphysical body of our multidimensional human being. With that being said, I created a series and it's called Light Body Awareness 101. And in this series, I go through the functioning, the layout, the relation that the energetic light body has in our multidimensional human being. With that being said, I go through that, and then I also briefly touch on a few different topics that I'm going to continue to explore throughout the series. And those topics being chakras, energy cords, grounding, ascension, clearing, and spiritual hygiene. So these are all going to be topics that I'll continue to explore throughout the series. So far, I've already covered chakras, and that was a 2-part series. And then I've also covered energy cords, and that was just last week. So you guys can actually check this out on my YouTube channel. And that YouTube channel is Sacred Light Healing and Wellness. I got it up here for you guys on the share screen. So the YouTube channel is Sacred Light Healing and Wellness. If you go to playlist, and then you hit Light Body Awareness 101, and then you can see here I have it organized in an order from beginning until current. And you can just literally open up the playlist and it'll start from the beginning, starting with the preview trailer for the whole entire series. And then it goes into Light Body Awareness 101, Intro to the Light Body. And this is where I go over the light body as a whole. I go over the function and the relation in the human being. And then I also briefly touch on the topics that I'll be going over. And then you have the All About Chakras, and that's a 2-part series. And then last you have energy cords, and that is where I left off. So you guys can find this on the YouTube channel, Sacred Light Healing and Wellness. And along with that, you can guys also find much more content. You can find the rest of the episodes of our Ascending Beyond Limitations podcast. I have a Conscious Coffee Conversation podcast I just started, and that's about medicinal reishi coffee and holistic healing. And then there's some other things on there like guided meditations that I produce. So that's where you guys can find that. But real quick, I'm just gonna touch on the body and how this relates to this read that Sandra just shared with us about having everything within us already. So with this human being that we have, this human being is not only just a physical body. So it is a multi-dimensional being, which means that it has multiple different dimensional layers or multiple different dimensional aspects, whatever word you'd like to use to fill that in when it comes to the human being. So you have not only the physical body, but you have the next body or layer out from that, which is the energy or light body. And then from there, you have the emotional body. And then you have the mental body. And then there are more bodies as well. And all of these bodies together is what makes up your whole entire human being, your energy field and your aura. So with the way that we've been taught in this 3D matrix world is to really just look at the physical body as all there is to the human being. And with that being said, if we're living in a mindset, if we're living in a truth of basically telling not only ourselves, but telling the universe that we are nothing more than just a physical body that lives, dies, and that's all that we ever are, then we are living by the most densest and the most lowest vibrational body mindset of who we actually are. And when you step more into the 4th dimension and beyond, you're raising your consciousness. You're opening up your consciousness to beyond just your physical senses and your physical being. You start to tap into your energy body more, which is your psychic realm. It's your intuitive nature. It is your energy centers. It is your ability to go into the quantum mechanic realm and quantumly shift yourself and be able to reorient yourself through sacred geometry and other movements of light. This is the 4th dimension and beyond, when we step out of just the physical awareness and physical body. Now, when you can recognize and remember that our human being is these multidimensional layers, it's not just that your physical body has everything that you need. Remember from what we said, you're not just a physical body. You're also the mental, emotional, astral, and everything else beyond, together, making up your human being. So with that being said, really take a moment to really sit and reflect on what it truly means to have everything that we need with this human being. If we step out of that realm of just the physical body, because if you think about it, wow, we have a mental body to be able to explore Mentalism. If you know anything about mentalism, all of creation is made of mentalism. Through that mentalism, you can astral travel, you can consciously manifest, you can download, upload, and do many different things through the mental. You have the emotional body, your ability to pick up on information, to be able to sense, to be able to feel the codes and energy behind things. And with that, you're able to transmute, you're able to shift and move energy through your emotions. Then you have your physical body. Your physical body is your vehicle for this earth plane. It is what allows you to be able to experience in this physical realm, in this earth realm. It allows you to be able to materialize and dematerialize, and to be able to move energy into these different forms and take them out of forms. So we have all of this always available and always in place, and always is who we are. Even if we don't believe it, and even if we're not aware of it, we're still doing these things. We have these things, and they are what's giving us our experiences. So with that being said, we truly do have everything that we need within our human being when you look at these multi-dimensional perspectives of ourselves. And not just that, but there are roadmaps, there are blueprint systems that are ingrained within our physical body, such as our organ system, our hands. Every finger has a deeper connection to something that we may not even be aware of. Our palms, our feet, our eyes. There's a lot of things about us that we may not be aware of when it comes to what they represent, what they symbolize, or what they give us access to when it comes to our life in this universe. But we really truly do have all of this at our disposal every moment of our life here. And it's very powerful when you can start tapping into that. How do you start tapping into that? You may ask and wonder. Well, that's where, the self-work comes in. Self-care, nurturing, clearing out attachments, bringing healing to past pains and traumas, clearing out the things that are causing blockages within our blood flow, within our organs, things that are keeping us depressed, the things that are keeping us over anxious. All of these things being addressed consciously, holistically, or however it is that you would like to address it in a healthy manner, are ways to be able to access more of this natural guidance system and intuitive nature that we have instilled within our human being. Just think about it. If we are energy, vibration, and frequency, and we're getting stuffed up with all these energies and densities, and we're never clearing them out, then it's likely that we're not going to be able to really be in tune much with our natural flow of consciousness coming through us. And we're probably not going to have the chi flowing through our body as much as well, which is also a conscious substance. So when we clear these things out, maybe even fast, do a juice fast and detox, that's another way. When we do these things, it then allows that electrical system and that conscious light to be able to flow through us naturally, giving us access to more of this intuitive nature. And back to you.
All right. With that said, I'm going to reread something that we read last week, just to bring us up to speed about us. That's right. All 8 billion of us we were put on an equal footing. There is nothing that the divine gave one person more of than another. So listen. Ra says, I am Ra, the law of one, though beyond the limitations of name, as you call vibratory sound complexes, may be approximated by stating that all things are one. Everything that you are is oneness. Everything started as a thought from the creator, the mind, its body, the creator's body. Guess what? As you're born into this beautiful experience, you become the body of the creator, right? That there is no polarity, no right, no wrong, no disharmony, but only identity, only the one, only the one. All is one, and that one love is love and light, light and love, the infinite creator. The infinite creator. The infinite creator. So take what resonates, hold on to that if you choose, and let's get started, right? So if you have the book, I'm reading from page 132. And the questionnaire says, can you tell me of the first known thing in creation? Ra says, I am Ra. The first known thing in the creation is infinity. Every human being has always asked that. Who's God? What does God look like? Ra just told us. Infinity. What do you picture infinity? And then that's what God looks like. You were given that ability to see beyond the physical eyes. Ask the divine, let me see that which I cannot see with my physical eyes. Let me see it with my spiritual eyes. Then go inward. Ra says it's infinity, right? The infinity is, and Ra goes on to say, the infinity is creation. The questionnaire asks, from this infinity, then must come what we experience as creation? What was the next step or the next evolvement? And Ra says, I am Ra. Infinity became aware. This is the first density. Infinity became aware. The divine became aware of itself in first density. It became aware of itself as pure being. It became aware of itself as existing. The questioner said, what came next? And Ra said, I am Ra. Awareness then led to the focus of infinity into infinite energy. It saw itself as energy. It always was energy, but it got to see itself. It's aware, it's energy. Ra says, you have called this by various vibrations and complexes. You have labeled everything, he says. The most common to your ears is logos or love. The creator is the focusing of infinity. The creator is the focuses of love. You always wanted to know God, see God. God is love. Unconditional love. Wow. And as aware and conscious principle called by us, as closely as we are love. We are the understanding of love. This is what you want to understand. This is all the first density. This is the divine source, Almighty God, awareness, matrix, illusion, becoming aware of itself. All in first density. all happening all at once and not at once. The dreamer beginning to have a dream about itself, dreaming about the beginning, what we consider the beginning. Ross says the next step is still at the space and time nexus. It's in your illusion, achieving its progression as you set it in illusion, as you start to becoming. You're finding out that it's illusion. And then people are saying it's illusion, but it's only an illusion. But your body and your mind are real. It's your illusion that the divine is having a physical expectation of itself. You, me, Marcus. It's called the law of one. We're all one. The divine is experiencing us all at one and separate as well. The divine is experiencing you at what you consider your worst and what you consider your best. It's seeking itself as you, as me, as Marcus, as the listeners of YouTube and Facebook and Instagram right now. It's being all of us all at once. We're in third density, but we were in first density as well because we were the divine. We are in third density, but we were in second density because we were the divine. Were we physically there with our bodies? No. But we were there. Back to you, Marcus. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Whoa.
So, oftentimes when we try to think of ourselves in a different form, or we try to think of ourselves in a different time space, I feel like, maybe it's just myself, but let me know in the chat, on Instagram or on YouTube in the comments, if you guys deal with this as well, where when you try to think of yourself as a different being or a different form or a different lifetime, you can oftentimes associate your physical human identity with who you would be in a different form, in a different lifetime. And I feel like when we do that, we can really miss and make a very pseudo and supernatural perspective to what it is that we're trying to explore, which is trying to see ourselves or trying to imagine or take ourselves to that time and space of being in a different form or being a part of a different body. And I just invite us that when we do think about this, try to eliminate or try to dissolve this physical human identity that you have in this world when trying to explore past lifetimes or trying to explore being in different bodies and different dimensional forms. Because it's not that we were exactly who we are in this lifetime and then we brought that into a different time and space. Like me as this identity, Marcus Christolight, if I'm trying to reference who I could have been in a lower dimension or in a different lifetime, then I'm not going to be able to really access the information correctly. If I'm trying to place this physical body right here with these dreads and everything else into the image of what it is I'm trying to experience, which is who I could have been in a lower dimensional form or even in a higher dimensional form. So I just wanted to kind of just point that out and give that gentle reminder, because I know for myself, even when I try to think of, a different incarnation or being in a different body and form, I can oftentimes tie in this human identity and associate it with who I could have been or what I would be like in a different form. And we got to be able to dissolve that, come into a more open and more receptive state of being when it comes to our perspective, to be able to really register and tap into what this could have been like for us in a lower dimension or in a different dimensional body. And there's so many different variables too that come with that. I'm not sure if we've touched on it yet, but I'm sure Ra will touch on it in this book. But there's also different laws. There's different principles. There's different structures and different technicals when it comes to the different dimensions as well. So, if we're in a one-dimensional body and we're living a one-dimensional life, then we're not going to have the same principles. We're not going to have the same capabilities. We're not going to have the same mechanics that we're going to be operating with and being able to access and function with, compared to this 3D realm right here, where we're in these 3D, 4D bodies that are capable of building, deconstructing, being able to channel different energies consciously, being able to be fully self-aware and basically become a self-master of self. Those are not qualities and principles that are going to be taking place in a one-dimensional body. And then if you even ascend beyond this 3D, you go into like a fifth dimension and beyond. There's going to be things in that realm that are not going to be needed, or there's going to be things in this realm, the 3D realm, that are not going to be necessary or needed in that fifth dimensional realm. So it's like a continuous building block, so to say, when you go through these dimensions. And when you start out in the lower dimensions, you need more assistance, so to say. So this is why you have more outer influence. You have different things to help support you outside of you. And then as you continue to rise, we move into this 3D. You can see that now that we're in this 3D form, it's not that we're becoming fully independent, but we're starting to become more independent. We're starting to become more self-responsible and self-capable of manifesting our reality and being accountable for our space and our health and things of that nature, and start helping out other souls. And then when you get to like a fifth and beyond, and you get into like the archangel planes and the angelic councils, if you know anything about them, they don't have the same tasks. They don't have the same responsibilities as we do with these human bodies. Theirs are more kind of set and in stone of what it is that they are doing, because there's no need for them to go through more lessons. There's no need for them to go through karma, because they're in a higher dimension, and in that higher dimension, it's not necessary for them. So the reason why we go through these lessons or these experiences, whatever it is you would like to call it, is to really either create karmic energy or dharmic energy. And through that karmic and dharmic energy, it helps shift, transmute, accelerate, or decelerate our energetic vibrational frequency. And as we go through these different energetic vibrational frequencies, we go through different dimensions, we go through different experiences, and we are able to connect and be a part of different dimensional realms when it comes to this universe and creation of activities. And back to you.
Oh, yes. All right. All right. What a transition, right? Because it's true. No matter how you say it, all right, or how you feel it. One-dimensional is a rock, but it does have consciousness. Second dimension is plants and water.
One dimension right here. This
It
crystal.
has,
So
it has
this crystal, if you guys know anything about crystals, and this is something I do offer as crystal teachings because I'm crystal healing certified, is that crystals are consciousness, just like we spoke on. And yes, it may not be able to verbally speak with you. It may not be able to go get you a drink out of the refrigerator or something, but it is able to spiritually channel its spiritual energy through this form right here. And this is its physical vessel. Just like how for our human being, this right here is our physical vessel for our spirit to be expressed. So it's the same exact thing with this crystal, except instead of it being a third dimensional body, it's a one-dimensional body, which allows it to be a beautiful companion and tool for us to use in this life. So if you know anything about the Kabbalion has 7 Hermetic principles, and one of those is the law of correspondence. And the law of correspondence means that there are corresponding parallel planes of existence, all taking place at once. And there are different planes, and they go into the mental planes of existence. And then they break it down into subcategories of different mental planes that you can experience. Some of those mental planes is the human dimension or the human mental plane. Then there's also the mineral kingdom, the animal kingdom, and some others. And within each of these kingdoms or dimensions of mental realms is basically the information and the storage of the archetypes and the different energetic aspects of what makes up that dimension that you're connecting with, whether it's an animal, human, a mineral. And when we are experiencing or interacting with these different beings and different bodies, such as a crystal, we are mentally, through our mind, connecting with the mental kingdom and the mental plane of the spirit and the spiritual energy of these crystals when we tap into the mineral kingdom. So then, if we have, for example, a dog, and we are connecting with that dog, when we are exchanging energy with that dog and connecting with it, we are mentally experiencing what its mental and spiritual kingdom is in its animal kingdom nature. And then we take in the energy of its mental animal kingdom. And that's how we receive through the mind the conscious energy of that animal, and its spiritual energy is through these mental planes of existence, as everything is of the mind and all is mental. Back to you.
Yes. All right. See, that's the transition. I'm going to tell you, Marcus and I, we're on this mental connection. Okay, because a rock is first density. We interact with first density all the time, even though we're third density, because we're multidimensional beings. Have you got that yet? Every time you pick up a rock, you're connecting. Every time you pick up a stick or touch a tree, that's first density. We're third density beings, growing, expanding, shifting, becoming, evolving. And because we're growing, shifting, becoming, evolving, We can tap into first density. We can tap into second density. Second density, yes, animals, the flow of water, the everything that's becoming in a subconscious arena, conscious but not conscious like third density. Okay, but we're the bridge. Okay, here we go. The question is, I am wondering if the planetary systems that we are in now was all created at once, or if our sun was created first and the planets later. Ra says, I am Ra. The process is from the larger, in your illusion, to the smaller. Thus, the co-creator, individualizing the galaxy, created energy patterns which then focus in the multitudinous of further awareness of infinite or intelligent infinity that it kept creating. That's the process. There wasn't one before the other. There was in quotation marks, just is. Everything happened the way it was supposed to happen. That's what Ross says, right?
Hey, Sandy, before we continue, I know Instagram's about to stop here in about 30 seconds.
Okay.
So what I was going to say is, if you want to, what we can do is we can go ahead and fire up new stream keys for Instagram. Just like take a minute to kind of pause and take a break. And then we can keep this going on YouTube and then get the Instagram back up. And it'll literally take like 30 seconds to do.
Sounds good to me. All right, everybody on Instagram, we're getting ready for episode, what are we going to call it? Part 2 of episode 3. Oh, I like it.
3.5.
All right, 3.5. I love it. All right,
So,
see you soon. Take care.
Everyone on Instagram, just stay tuned. We'll have a live part 2 in literally 30 seconds to a minute. So just stay tuned.
All right.
Okay. And for everybody that's tapped in on the YouTube side, feel free to take a break if you would like. Use the restroom, hydrate, anything else that you would like to do.
Okay. And then I need to go back to my Instagram and get another code, right, for you?
Yep.
All righty. Here we go.
Yeah, for some reason, for everybody that's still listening on the YouTube side, for some reason, Instagram only allows an hour of the streaming, which is very strange, but you know how Instagram is. They have their limitations for some reason.
Okay. It's not letting me create. Do I have to end the, yeah, I think I do. I have to end the live video from YouTube. Hold on. All right. It says discard live video. I've never saw that before.
Just go ahead and like refresh to the Instagram main screen. Like, don't even answer it.
Okay, refresh. All right, here we go. We're gonna do.
I really wish. I mean, I don't want to be like a. I don't want to ask for too much, but I really wish, you know, Instagram would start dissolving some of these limitations. Like it's like, wow, what's going on? Like, really? An hour?
Okay. All right, and then string key, copy. Okay, go back to my compose. All right. Now go back to my Instagram. Just let me know when you got it, and then I'll hit then you can let me know when I can hit the go live on the right.
Mm-hmm. There we go. And we are just about there. All right, we're all set. I'm gonna go ahead and go live on Instagram, and you can go live as well.
Okay.
All righty. Thank you, all of you kings and queens, for staying patient and just staying ready to go to hop in for part 2 of this 3rd episode of Ascending Beyond Limitations, the Raw Materials Study, as well as holding and sharing space for our wonderful co-host here, Sandee, on her Divine Earth Day.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope I did everything right on my Instagram. It looks like it's happening. All right. So where were we? We were talking about second density. We were talking about being third density beings. I'm gonna fast forward it just a little bit. It depends on where you're at consciously. You could have a third density body, and have be in fourth consciousness, 4D consciousness, 5D consciousness, experiencing a 3D plane. Let's put it that way, right? You don't have to wait till you die to get to fourth density or fifth density or 144th density. That's what multidimensional means. That's us expressing as 3D bodies with a 4D beingness or consciousness, and being able to tap in to what first density, picking up a rock and actually hearing what it's saying to you, feeling the vibration of it. Babies and children are naturally there. They're naturally multidimensional until adult humans change the directive. That's right. Adult humans give an update to them to change that parameter. Right? Amazing, right? Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. You don't have to be there yet if you don't want to be. But Ross says, the questioner asks, can you tell me about oh, hold on. I flipped it. He's talking about moving from first density to second density. And Ross says growth. Everything grows. First density, Earth consciousness got her body. Even in the book of the Divine Design, it talks about how Earth consciousness's body was created. And it was created in these polarities. The same way that the spirit part of us, that etheric part of us, was created to contain our energy. So you can go from the first root chakra all the way up to the crown chakra. That same creation. It's no different. See how everything is all one. It goes back to all the law of one. Everything was created in the same vibration. The same vibration. Ra says, I am Ra. Each step recapitulates intelligent infinity in its discovery of awareness. Why we are here today in the third density is because the divine is discovering itself in the awareness of form. We're not here by accident. You want to know why you're here? It's because the divine is moving in, through, and as you, seeking form. That's it. It's not here to judge you, because in that case, it would judge itself. But it doesn't have to judge itself. Because why? It is the law of one. It is creation. So second density is just that it started becoming aware of itself in the animal kingdom, in the animal form, in the consciousness of the trees, in relativity to the sky, the sun, the moon, the planets, and how they're all positioned to not just acclimate, but to ground with second density. First density and second density grounded with each other. They anchored into each other. And here we come, third density. More awareness of the divine, being aware of itself. And guess what we get to do? We get to ground. We get to acclimate. We get to assimilate. And then we get to anchor. It is the divine becoming more aware of itself through us anchoring into third density. It's okay to anchor into third density. Why? Because third density was created by the divine to seek itself in form. Back to you, Marcus. Ooh. Yum, yum. Yum, yum. Yum, yum, yum.
Ah, man. I just really love this study. I love how detailed it is. I love how tangible it is. And it's really not like a, like pseudo teaching where it's just kind of outlining things. It's like, it's really giving you the nitty gritty details of what it is that we're in and, what it is that we're a part of. And what was the last thing that you had said, Sandee?
About anchoring, actually assimilating, acclimating, and anchoring into this third density.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. First density, the rocks and all the formation, the volcanic action, the creation of the mountains, they all grounded naturally. They all assimilated and acclimated to everything that is and that is not. They acclimated to the sun and the moon and where the planets were and all the formations. And actually, Marcus, that's where you're saying that they were taken care of. They had a need to be taken care of by all of these things, all of these outside things that help them to acclimate in first density, to help the divine seek itself as that rock, as that earth, as the earth breaking up and becoming form. I mean, think about it. Everybody has watched at least one show about how the earth was created, all the formations, how the mountains became, how the snow caps became, how the rocks became. And then when you really actually take it in, that's the divine seeking itself as first density. It's conscious. The rock is conscious. The mountain is conscious. And then hearing Ra say everything was real, or what we consider real. Everything had consciousness. Therefore, when he wanted a mountain to move, all he had to do was just say move in the mind. It was vibration. It was energy. If he wanted blocks to move to build the pyramids, all they had to do was think it and put the energy of intention behind it, and it moved. So bring it forward to third density. Okay, and I know I'm about to say the Bible, but it's okay. Not everybody has to believe in that. But the parable of Jesus walking water is he became water. He became the vibration of water because water had its own vibrational signature in third density. He took third density and he acclimated into second density, and he made it become so that he could just walk on it. Holy shit. And then he said, parable or not, believe it or not, take what resonates. He said, these things that I do shall you do and more. You're third density beings with multi-dimensional capabilities. And we haven't even got to fourth density or fifth density. Shit, some of us haven't even moved into the thought processes of seventh density. Seventh density or fifth density, no, sixth density is that Jesus was there. He took his body with him when he died. Holy shit. He didn't leave anything behind so you could bury him or cremate him. He said, let's go. He took his body with him. Holy, holy, holy shit. I'm just saying.
Sound the siren.
I'm just saying. Whoop, there it is. And this is just the first book of Ra, the raw materials, right?
Yeah, this is the first book. And to kind of go off of what you were saying, with these different figures and how they were able to access this dimensional energy and activity. Also want to point out too, because this goes kind of hand in hand with the beginning of this episode when we were talking about how we already have everything instilled within us, and that we basically already have this mechanic system and blueprinting of our body and our mental, emotional self that is able to give us the access to these type of abilities and gifts. And I really love this because I don't even think I really had this clarity and been able to really speak on this clarity yet, is that if we remember also, not only were figures like Yeshua, Jesus, able to do the beautiful miracles and channeled energetic things that he was able to do, it also came with discipline. It came with practices. It came with doing things such as fasting, meditation in the mountains, isolation with spirit. These different practices, these different mental focuses that were able to clear out the chakras, clear out the energy body, clear out the densities within the physical body, which is what things like fasting and meditation do. What this does is it keeps your electromagnetic system clear. through your electromagnetic system, as we spoke on in episode 2, as being crystalline magnetic beings, our electromagnetic electro electromagnetism is what basically allows us through these physical avatars to be able to manipulate and shift matter and other energetic forms. So when you think about it, it wasn't that Jesus was just born and right when he was born, he just had all of these abilities as a super, super young baby and child. If you really follow the life and the path of Jesus, you learn that Jesus had to go study under different teachers. He traveled to different areas of the world to go sit in the different schools of the mysteries. He went and had this time that is still not fully known to man what happened, where he went into isolation and went out into nature in a spirit journey. And then it talks about meditating in the mountains, fasting for 30 days. All of these different things contributed on Jesus's human path in this human body with these human senses that we all each have right now, that sharpened him, that cleared him up, and allowed him to be in tune and attune to the frequencies, to the natural currents, and the connection of the divine within. So through that, having that clear electromagnetism flowing through him, having that clear pineal gland, having those clear energy centers, Jesus was able to be in that natural state of accessing his psychic intuitive nature, which is channeling energy healing to others, being able to see matter as something that can be manipulated, shape-shifted, and also is one with us, even while in these bodies. So therefore, we're able to do things as one with the matter and be able to shift with it. And back to you.
Oh, that just like lit up the everything. I had to sip my water because it's not just Jesus consciousness, it's Buddha consciousness, it's Muhammad consciousness, it's every yogi and spiritual teacher that has literally come into this third density existence and left us with information as they went through their calling, their awakening, their wisdom and their understanding, their growth, their shifting and their evolution, and then left into different dimensions wherever they go. Who knows? Some of them aren't even in the earth consciousness experience anymore. But there's so many dimensions and galaxies that are part of the infinite. They could be still imparting wisdom from billions and billions and billions of miles of what we consider miles away. Why? Because they're multidimensional. They're not first density, second density, third density. They're the multi-density of densities, if you want to go like this. Because that's all we know as human beings is we can point up and out. But how about if you point inward? Because that's where the universe is. We may see it as a picturesque outward experience. That's okay, but it's in here. The unknown between all of our organs and our bloodstream. There's massive space. Even scientists have figured that out. There's massive space there. And that's where all the yogis are. That's where Yeshua consciousness is, and Buddha consciousness inward. That's why, take what resonates, leave what doesn't, is we have to make the unknown known to us, because that's where all that information and diversity of information, because one size just really truly won't fit you all. But it's okay, because what fits you and is higher and is for your highest and greatest good. How do you know that? Because your feelings tell you you're feeling something that resonates in you from the time you wake up in the morning till the time you go back to sleep. And it gives you glory. It gives you a buzz. It connects you with the ether, or the is that the right word? The ethers within you. If I was to say that someone said in one of my lives that they believe that soul and spirit are two separate things, then I believe it would be that. The ether that is around the soul that we're given, that's connected to the infinite of everything that is and is not, all at once, right? To make you, if you say, most people, Jesus was a man. Well, he was, what I hear is Jesus was form. Jesus wasn't just born a baby and then he disappeared for 33 years. Jesus was form. He went and he did exactly what you could do, was learn, expand, grow, shift, evolve, become. And then those who decided to keep records, when he came back on at, I don't know, they say 33. He was tuned in to the inner beingness of himself. The inner beingness of himself. He had to go seek within, just like you do, just like I do, just like Marcus does. For me, I don't think there'll ever be a time where I'll stop seeking the unknown within me. And I don't ever think there'll be a time when it's not scary as fuck. It's going to be scary. It's going to start at a point of on a lower polarity of being scary, so that I grow, shift, and expand as I learn, as I become, as I learn to see through the water that I'm thinking. See it move from the cup that I drinketh into the water that starts to flow, and I can see it flowing down my palate, see it flowing in me, where it's going, see how it feels in every essence of who I am, until eventually it becomes a vibration where I pee it out or poop it out. Yes, that's right. Those are vibrations. Those are vibrational channels. Every part of your body is a vibrational channel. Tuned in, tapped in to the divine that is and is not.
You mean to tell me my poop is divine?
Poop is divine.
That's right.
It is. Here is what happens. I raised 3 children. When I sat them on the toilet, they could feel the vibration of when they needed to pee, when they were beginning to find out what their body was asking them to do. That's called potty training. When you tap in and you just sit them on the toilet and you say, listen to your body. They're hearing the vibration. Their body is speaking to them. It's not just a feeling. That's how a child can tell you, Mommy, I need to go to the potty, when they're learning how to potty train. That's vibration. They tune in and tap into it much easier. They're so close to the divine until we start putting other thoughts about what they can and can't do. Here's the kicker. Your child you don't have to train your child to go potty. They figure that out. They do. It's so natural to them. They tell you what they're feeling. And then if you're listening to them, they ask you what they should do. They'll come and they'll tug on your little, and they'll say, I feel. Some of them that can't even talk feel. And they'll go follow you. And they'll see what you do. And they'll go do it. That's vibration. That's totally tuned in and tapped in to the vibration, third vibration of a higher being that says, I am all. I am the law of all. That's your body being tuned in and tapped in.
Mm-hmm.
Take it even a little further. Having your children tell you when your parents pass on that they can still see them. When you say, hey, little Johnny, who are you talking to? Oh, I'm talking to Granddad. The only time that they stop is when you tell them, oh, no, that's not.
Yep.
Then it turns off in them.
Mm-hmm.
But they're totally tapped in. Third dimension, into the dimension of where angels are, of your divine, of their divine guides, of the divine itself. Here's another one. Babies come out speaking what you would call light language, or speaking in tongues or whatever. They speak it. And they speak to you. We tend to call it gobbledygook because we stop being tuned in and tapped in to the divine, because we're very focused on third density language. But when we move towards being multidimensional and seeing third density through a different polarity consciousness, we can tap back into them. Just saying. That's what Ra is saying.
And to add to that too, this is where time travel comes in. Now, when I'm speaking on time travel, there's many different aspects of time travel we can speak on here. There is physical time travel, but then there's also mental and there's emotional time travel. And what we're kind of relating here is mental time travel. Mentally, through our consciousness, we're able, through vibration and frequency, we're able to access different time and space, because all is present and all is now in the Akasha, the Akashic records, as you can call it. And within the Akasha is the information of all timeline probabilities, all of the past, and everything that you could really think of in a linear standpoint is all present and able to be accessed quantumly. So with mental time travel, we adjust our mental frequency and vibration by, there's many different techniques and ways to go about it. And of course, there's no right or wrong. It's just what resonates for you. But one of those ways that I do it is I will mentally try to encapture the time and space that I am wanting to experience mentally through time travel. And then as much as I can capture of that in a descriptive, detailed way, I will then try to envision it in my mind. So say I want to time travel to ancient Egypt and I want to experience a timeline or something of a certain time and space of Egypt. And what I would do is I would try to capture and envision where exactly I would place myself, what it would feel like, what it may be even with smell, taste, anything that could bring something to your senses, to then start telling your mind that yes, you are experiencing this and you are present in this time and space. And then through that, which also requires some patience as well, you go into meditation, whatever way you like to do that. Maybe even do a little bit of breath work while you're doing it to get yourself into more of your light body. And through that, that is one way that you're able to mentally time travel into different spaces. This is also how a lot of us do what we call grid work. Grid work is something that you can mentally time travel and do. And there are many beautiful beings on this planet that do this daily, is do grid work through time travel of the mind. So then I also wanted to bring up something here as we were talking on, Christ and the Bible. I'm someone that really, really likes examining and reflecting on the lost books of the Bible, as they call it, or the books that have been removed. And one of them is the Book of Thomas. And the Book of Thomas has many different quotes that really bring a unified oneness connection through wisdom and parables. And one of them, which I'm going to go ahead and pull up real quick, this is from the Gospel of Thomas. And this is number 22. So it says, Jesus saw some infants who were being suckled. He said to his disciples, "These infants being suckled are like those who enter the kingdom." They said to him, "If we then become children, shall we enter the kingdom?" Jesus said to them, now this is it right here. Open those ears and open that eye as I go through this. Jesus said to them, "When you make the two one, and when you make the inside as the outside, and the outside as the inside, and the upper as the lower, and when you make the male and the female into a single one, so that the male is not male, and the female not female, and when you make eyes in place of an eye, a hand in place of a hand, and a foot in place of a foot, a image in place of an image, then shall you enter the kingdom." Whew.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
I'll read
Okay.
that one more time for us.
Yes.
Just to kind of give that second clarity to people. So the disciples asked Jesus, "If we then become children, shall we enter the kingdom?" So Jesus said to them, "When you make the two one, and when you make the inside as the outside, and the outside as the inside, and the upper as the lower, and when you make the male and the female into a single one, so that the male is not male, and the female not female, and when you make eyes in place of an eye, and a hand in place of a hand, and a foot in place of a foot, an image in place of an image, then shall you enter the kingdom." Wow.
Wow. Just wow. It's here we go. It swings. Here's the pendulum swinging all the way forward. Then it swings all the way back. And it comes back again, still as the law of one. When you make everything one, I'm just saying, all the way forward and all the way back. Okay, I've got something for you. The questioner says, Was the Egyptian visit of 11,000 years ago the only one where you actually walked on Earth? Ross says, I understand your question distorted in the direction of cells rather than other cells. We of the vibratory sound complex called Ra have walked among you only one time. Right? Then the questioner asks, I understand you to say in an earlier session that pyramids were built to ring the earth. How many pyramids were built? Right? So he goes back to the questioner goes back to about pyramids. But the divine wants me to tell you that Ross said, I, as that complex that you know of, only walked on the earth one time. But the divine just told me that it was many times. Yet it was not Ra, but it was one. So for those, there are many that think Ra and Jesus are one. They are. Ra, in that entity, that form of just the form, walked once. But as the law of one, of wholeness, he walked again as Jesus. And the divine says that they, as me, will keep coming to share word and deed, in form and out of form, in the formless and out of form. The divine wants you to take what resonates for you, because you're trying to make sense of multi-dimensional beings moving and flowing in the essence of oneness, wholeness, that is and is not. The pyramids they will forever be here. But they are not the only creation that the divine has created for us. But we're very busy seeing what has been instead of being focused on what's now. We're very busy on our past lives that our soul has traversed in, instead of living the one that we have now. The now moments are very important and powerful. Back to you, Marcus. Okay.
You know, that's so well said, because wow. And there's so many things that I can really apply with this, but you know, if we are trying to become what we were in the past and not truly tuning into the gifts of what we have in this current life that we're in, you know, the technologies, the devices, the access to information, the accessibility of being able to connect worldwide, and all these different things that we have in this present lifetime of experience, then what that can do is many things, including creating what we can call like a ungrateful spirit, or kind of neglecting what it is that we've been gifted in this lifetime with these bodies to be able to work with, when really it's all divine instruments, it's all divine tools. You know, you think about AI and what AI has done in this current lifetime of ours. And, it really is a gift. It truly is. When you think about this live podcast that we're doing right now, it wouldn't even be happening if we didn't have the tools of AI in the first place. And if we're not able to start stepping into more of our heart and more into truth and more into gratitude and really be present with the abundance that we are given in these bodies to work with, then we're going to kind of just not be able to optimize and be able to really make the most of this present lifetime that we're in, which then also sets up for future generations. And we got to keep in mind too that, yeah, we may be here now, but we're not going to be on this planet in these bodies forever. And then there's going to be different generations that are going to live on this planet to come. And through us, just like our ancient ancestors from, 5 BC, 100 after, and beyond, they were able to, set up these roadmaps, these blueprints, these different techniques and different ways of life for us now in this current time of the 2000s, or whatever you would like to call this. And that's a continuous pattern, continuous cycle. So going on in the future from now, our children, children's children, and then their children is then going to be looking back, and they're going to be able to have the experiences and the information that we were able to encode as well as materialize into this realm to be able to help them along their journey with their growth, their expansion, their creating and destroying and everything else that they go through. So with that being said, be careful. Be careful with when you're studying ancient text that you're not trying to bring yourself completely back to that time period and trying to live in that time period exactly how those figures lived. Because we have to keep in mind, we all have our own unique blueprint. We have our own authentic soul path that we are walking on. Not all of us are meant to walk the path that Jesus the Christ walked on. Not all of us are meant to walk on the path that specifically Gandhi walked on. Not all of us are supposed to walk the path that specifically Queen Nefertiti of Egypt walked. It's really just finding what wisdom and what teachings can you extract from their paths and integrate into our path in our personal life to be able to walk our authentic path in a way that's more in balance, more healthy, and more in tune with ourselves and the Creator.
Okay. Here we go, right? Okay, the questioner says, I just went to the end, because this is basically what Marcus is saying. We're so enthralled and intrigued with where all the places that our soul has been and who we believe, because our soul has been that, we believe we were that. I get that. That's a union. It's a union. But the thing is, your soul can show you bits of its recalling of who it was before it was you, whether it's 10,000 BC or whether you were a rock. But it's only showing that to you to bring you back to your now moment. In your now moment, you get to decide, and this is the word, decide. Have a discernment, not a judgment, about that in your now moment, who you're going to be next, who you're going to show, what more of you are you going to share with your higher being for growth and expansion. See, most people, like Marcus says, wants to go be somebody Then, instead of taking advantage of this glorious opportunity to be who you are now and grow and expand and evolve, you're given a wonderful opportunity to be a triune being and to be a co-creator with the being, and know that you are a co-creator with the divine that moves in, through, and as you, that's seeking itself as you. The fact that you merely know that is monumentous. So the questioner says, I am assuming all of the groups getting telepathic contact from the Confederation, and that's just the group of beingness, higher beings of the divine in all realms, comes together, and they have a collaboration, because they know that they're the law of one. But in our word, the word that Ra had from his channeling was the word confederation. Are a high priority target for the Orion Crusaders. That's the title that the particular questioner knew. They knew of the Orion belt or galaxy or whatnot. The questioner says, I would assume, never good to assume, but let's keep going, assume that a large percentage of them are having their messages polluted by the Orion group. Can you tell me what percentage of them had their information polluted by the Orion group, and of any of them were available to remain purely a Confederation channel? Now, this is information from a third density being wanting to know about this. The divine wants you to know, if you're very always flowing in the negative of something in your now moment, the information that you will always get from wherever it comes from will be contaminated. Ra responds, to give you this information would be an infringe upon free will and the confusion of some living. We can only ask each group to consider the relative effect of philosophy and your so-called specific information. It is not the specifically of the human which attracts negative influence. It is the importance upon it. The importance upon it, when looking at it, it's not to judge it, it's to learn from it, to grow from it, to expand from it, to evolve from it, not to judge it. Ra goes on to say, this is why we reiterate quite often when asked for specific information that it pales to the insignificance. Just as the grass withers and dies, will the love and light of the one infinite creator rebounds to the very infinite realms of creation forever and ever. That the divine didn't come to judge itself. It came to see aspects of itself in form, and not just here on earth, not just with earth consciousness. This is the message we bring. We bring it of the one creator, the infinite creator. Each entity is only superficially that which blooms and dies. You live this life. You live this life. You acclimate. You assimilate. You ground, or you anchor. You live it gloriously, with no judgment from the divine that's moving in, through, and as you, because all it is an experience. And then the divine, when it's time for your physical body to say, I'm done with this experience. The divineness of all that is assimilates you back in to all that is. No judgment. No right, no wrong. No ifs, no buts. You just become again. Growth, expansion, shifting. That's why Ra always says, I am Ra. I am that you know me as, because guess what? That's what you said you wanted to know him as. And the divine said, let it be so. There's still more. The divine wanted me to go there. Ra says, I leave you, my friends, in love and light of the one infinite creator. Go forth, then merry, MERRY, and glad, and rejoicing in the power and the peace of the one creator. And they say, Adonai, let it be so. You came here for one life experience in this glorious body. No matter how that body was created, whether you only see with one eye, or you only have one ear, or you were born with legs but no arms, or arms but no legs. You were born for a specific purpose, on purpose, with a purpose. You were born in the glory of everything that the divine wanted to see, feel, and be. See, feel, and be, and become through shifting and evolution. And the divine says, don't waste it. I'm just saying, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Back to you, Marcus.
Wow. What a beautiful way to really kind of bring an end to this episode. This is a beautiful 2-hour episode, and wow.
I'm just
golly.
And imagine, there's just so much more. So much more.
As we close out, I just really want to remind us all that it's really not worth, beating yourself up and holding everything against you if you make a mistake, or if you do something that you didn't mean to do. Like, when you really can come back to the awareness of truth and wholeness, and this information that has been shared with us through Ra and these other beings, it's truly amazing. It's truly filled with grace and mercy, this life that we're in. And it's filled so much so that even despite the corruption in our minds, or the taintedness that we may take on, or the most dirtiest and lowest of feelings that we could go through and do, we're still given opportunity of experiencing energy, experiencing information, and being able to do something about it in some type of fashion. Whether it's physically, if we're physically capable, mentally, if we're mentally capable, emotionally, if we're emotionally capable. And that right there is the one thing from this whole episode that I could just wish for us to have the seed planted in our minds of, and continue to nurture and water that as we continue, is to really take it easy on ourselves, take it easy on each other, and remember the wholeness of why we're here. We're meant to experience the full contrast. We're meant to experience the different frequencies of energy. And it is absolutely okay in the divine essence if we make mistakes, if we do something quote unquote negative. It is part of the reason why we are here, and we will always be able to make our way through it. It may be at a different rate than somebody else. It may be through different experiences than somebody else. But the universe is constructed so perfectly and so whole and so in balance that when we come into this creation, we basically go through this game or go through this ladder of consciousness. And no matter what it is that we're going through, no matter what we do, we will have something that will be reflected back to us in this creation that will be able to give us the opportunity to be able to relinquish ourselves back to finding balance, back to coming back to an awareness state of being. And that right there is also just really key in our mindset of when we're facing negativity, when we're facing darkness. And remembering that negativity and darkness is created by the Creator as a part of this creation game to help us be able to experience, reflect back to us what will help us be able to awaken and trigger what is causing blockages and distortions from us being balanced within and being in our wholeness state. And that is why we face darkness. That is why we face these different challenges, is to be given that opportunity
I'm so
to regain
excited.
back the balance.
Oh, the fact that as you were speaking, the divine insisted on me getting the book, The Divine Design. It's by Lori Ladd. And I'm going to read you this because this is the divine, what the divine wants to close with through me. So I'm just going to yield. The divine says, you are all currently experiencing and watching trauma and density from the human collective. You are watching it being pulled out of the darkness into the light. Just as your own trauma, the human collective trauma must be seen, it must be felt, and shifted into a higher frequency. The way you move through this is by seeing the trauma, feeling the trauma, and then choosing what you want to be right now. Your choice and your sovereignty are your superpowers. You always have a choice. You always have. You've always had the choice. It's all choice, layered with patience, compassion, surrender, and trust. It's a deep knowing that all is well within you now. The divine wants you to know that you are surrounded by higher dimensional beings, no matter what you label them. You are continuously anchoring into the next highest version of you, into your form. You are remembering your multidimensionality. Whoa. And you are courageously showing up for yourself and for humanity. You're putting one foot in front of the other, and you're creating. You're becoming, you're shifting, you're evolving. All you got to do is put one foot in front of the other. You are cherished and you are light. You are source. You are a unique consciousness playing a human form, standing in a courageous being called Earth. Beingness called Earth. She wanted to play and you came to play with her. All of this, and then she says, the divine says, this entire book I gave to you so that you would know that you know that you know that you know. That you know.
That you know.
That you know. You know that you're loved. You know that you're worthy, and you know that you're honored. Why? Because the divine chose you exactly like who you are.
Mm. That's right.
And all you did was come to grow and expand. Concentrate on that. Expand with that knowing. You were created to become. Go ahead and do it. It's your choice. You've always been given the free will. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Everybody.
Instagram Live ended.
Yep, just on time.
Just on time it ended. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
That being said,
Thank you, Marcus.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for being incarnated on this earth plane with us during this journey of exploring our oneness together. And happy Earth Day to you again, Sandee. It was really special to be able to share this space with you today and to be able to share this knowledge with my fellow Gemini sister as we continue to embark upon this ascending beyond limitations journey, studying the raw law of one content. Thank you.
And join us on Sunday, right?
Yep.
Yes, we are doing we are expanding our edition, our episodes.
That's right. Everybody out there, we will be now going live twice a week. We will be going live on Sundays as well as Wednesdays. And on Sundays, and this is going to be starting after this coming up Sunday. So this Sunday, it'll be the normal time that we've been doing, which is 10 a.m. Pacific and 1 p.m. Eastern this Sunday. That'll be the episode 4. So then as we continue, our Wednesdays will be at the same time, I believe correctly, right?
Yes.
Yep. The Wednesdays will be at the same
10
time.
a.m. Yeah.
And then our Sundays are going to be shifting over to the evening time. And that will be at, I believe, 3 p.m. Pacific and 6 p.m. Eastern time. And that'll be on Sundays. But that's starting after this Sunday. So next Sunday, it'll start at that time. You guys will have the flyers, the advertisements, and all that stuff that will keep you in the loop. But we'll be seeing you guys again this coming Sunday at 10 a.m. Pacific and 1 p.m. Eastern time for episode 4 of Ascending Beyond Limitations. Thank you to all of you that have supported and have been participating in the comments, either on YouTube or Instagram. And thank you to all of you that have just been here to be and continue this human journey with us.
Thank you. I'm excited. I'm so excited. This information is expanding our world, you know, and it's not just Ra that have been coming to give us this information. The divine has been giving us this information since third density came online and became aware.
Yep, that's right.
You know, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If you're only ready for a portion of it, take that and run with it. Because when it comes time for the rest of it, I guarantee you, the divine will put that person, that place, that story, that workshop, that book read, right in front of you when you're ready for the rest. I guarantee.
Ashe, ashe, ashe.
All righty. So with that, I do say love and light and light and love. Thank you.
Wholeness and balanced love. Have a blessed and beautiful day, everybody.
Bless.
Happy Earth Day again, Sandee.
Thank you. Happy Earth Day to you, right?
Thank you.
We're still celebrating, baby.